Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis.
And I'm the Disembodied Voice.
And this is...
Monster Comic Review.
That's right. This is where we talk about our monster pile of superhero comics, though the superhero comics are getting smaller and smaller as I talk about each time.
True.
Because the rest of my books are getting to be a lot more of. Anyway, this is for comics for the week of, what did I say, March 18th, 2015. So hopefully you can hear the Disembodied Voice off screen, the mic's picking it up and whatnot. But we'll jump right into comics and we'll talk about Batgirl, issue number 40.
And I haven't talked about Batgirl at all anywhere.
We're talking about issue number 40.
Okay, fine.
Because otherwise we could spend a half an hour talking about Batgirl, which I seem to do every time Batgirl comes up. So
okay, you go first.
We finish out the storyline. We get this whole secret identity thing. It has kind of tied itself up in the fact that we find out who's been stealing her identity and whatnot, and well, it's her that's stealing her identity.
Yes.
Her brain scan, which I kind of figured from the very first issue of this new creative team where they talked about the fact she lost her logarithm that detects a lot of stuff, plus it had her brain scan in it. I'd been suspicious all along that was what the problem was.
And I had no idea, so I must have missed the brain scan part when she lost.
Well, that was all part of it, because that was her big concern. Was it didn't just have her thesis paper on it; it had her on it, kind of a thing. So that was the boy, that glare. It was kind of the big concern. So had been suspicious of that anyway. That was the case, or. And then when they start talking about the whole surgery thing and whatnot, and that they use some of that, which you probably don't know a lot about because most of that was told in the latest Secret Origin.
Right. That
they wanted us to get, which I didn't get because I didn't really need it. That maybe that really was the real Barbara Gordon was someplace else. Or this was the real Barbara Gordon, but somehow had been messed with in some way, and that's why she was acting the way that some of us longtime fans think of course, that was way too generous of me to think that they would actually kind of go, well, we've taken Barbara Gordon a little too far into the realm of irresponsible 20-year-old, and that maybe they're going to fix some of that. I don't know that any of that's going to be fixed, but anyway, so we get kind of a conclusion here. Her other personality that's trying to run everything is an extremist. In her answer to eliminating...
Just a little bit. She's just going to kill everybody. It's very... what's the name of that movie?
Movie?
The one with the red ball. You know, you get your crime is predestined crime. You get punished for those.
I don't know that.
The psychics in the pool. It's Tom Cruise.
Oh, Minority Report.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that, where this is going to happen.
I was thinking of Person of Interest, the TV show, where they had that big computer.
Oh, that's even better. That's a better comparison.
That is using an algorithm to figure out potentially crimes that you might be associated with. And I mean, we're talking about killing off people who rent their apartment out to somebody who ends up being a criminal. So if they kill that person, then they won't rent the apartment out to the criminal, so the criminal can't do crime in Gotham. That's just to the extreme.
Her alter ego, computer ego, is extremely crazy, cut and dried, and just wants to basically cut the head off the beast, even if the beast is innocent.
Right.
It's still dangerous.
Right. Yeah. So it's gonna orbital laser zap them all. Save the day at the end. Yay! Frankie saves the day. Frankie, of course, knows now who her roommate knows who she really is and all that.
Be involved.
She wants to be involved. So the theory would be, who's that going to be? Who's she going to be?
You're going to have to. I have
Oracle.
No idea. She is going to be Oracle.
Everybody's pitching her as being Oracle. Okay. But it doesn't say that here. I expected it to be named. Because of course, I get my comic books 3 days after everybody else. It had been spoiled for me all over the internet, what was going on. And I'm like, oh, but they never name her as that.
No, I mean, it makes sense. She's the computer.
Sure, she's
genius, but so is Babs. So I just think that's kind of dumb.
But Babs can't computer and be out on the street at the same time, right?
Right.
So she needs a network person, I guess. So they kind of work out the birds of prey by the end of this thing, right?
True.
You got, Babs and Dinah,
they make up.
They bury the hatchet.
Right, so you have the two of them. Then you have Frankie, your computer guru.
Who could network all their stuff for all.
Exactly.
And, what'll happen out of it, I don't know. Of course, coming out the other side of Convergence, Brendan Fletcher, who helps write this book, will be writing the Black Canary book. Coming out the other side of it. Because we are going to get the Black Canary story, her going and doing the record.
Are you going to be getting that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's Black Canary, I'm picking it up.
Yeah.
Until it sucks. I'm picking it up, so. Picking it up so I can complain about how they wrecked that character, too. I guess. I don't know. But, yeah.
I'm trying to take this Batgirl just separate from all Batgirl-ness.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's unfortunate that they chose, if they wanted to do this kind of a Batgirl, to use Barbara Gordon, because I feel like she has already dealt with and gone through everything that this Batgirl is dealing with and going through in her own way.
I don't remember the old Batgirl ever having an issue or ever encountering having her boyfriend stolen by her roommate or getting so drunk she can't remember what she did the night before.
Because that wasn't important to Barbara Gordon. That wasn't who she was. Yes, I know. Surprise, surprise. As Travis's point is, once again, hammered home. Yeah, I just said, it would be nice if it was somebody other than Barbara Gordon. But I'm just trying to enjoy it for what it is. Like you always tell me with Grant Morrison, just read it because it's Grant Morrison.
Oh, you can't even
go with the flow.
Can't even.
Oh, there's no comparison.
Okay.
I'm not comparing them as writers by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that I'm just kind of going with it. It doesn't totally suck. I like some of the characters.
So, what's your opinion if I drop this now?
If you drop it now,
going out the other.
With?
Well, I'll start back up again instead of Convergence. Is it interesting enough to keep reading this version of Batgirl?
I thought it was interesting.
What do you think of the art?
It's all right.
Yeah, I like the art.
Yeah.
Actually.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't miss it, but I'm enjoying it far more than I thought I would. I actually kind of liked it. I didn't expect to like it.
I was way more interested in the storyline than what
I expected to hate it. And during parts of it, I was actually really intrigued. Like when they were showing the photos of, the photo show display thingy, and one of
the art, and one of hers in the
wheelchair.
Batgirl in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah, that was just really intriguing, trying to figure out where that came from.
Yeah, that aspect of the storytelling is interesting.
Yeah,
it's like they have an interesting idea, and some of the execution of that idea is okay. Our hang up is this isn't Barbara Gordon, right?
Right. It would have been great as Stephanie Black.
Stephanie Brown.
Brown. Sorry, wrong color.
Artichoke.
What did you just say?
Artichoke. Stephanie Artichoke.
Artichoke.
At any rate, so are we gonna rate the book?
I will give it a 3.
I never do, but I started doing this with Ethan again. Of course, he thinks we should rank the book, so I will give it a 3 also. I wasn't wowed.
Exactly.
It was fine. I don't know what I think about Frankie potentially being the next Oracle. I mean, it makes sense, but it also feels so damn on the nose. To some degree, it feels like it's a placation of sorts. Oh, here, we're going to give you this.
We're going to give
you because you took away the best character. You took away the best character.
Who was
Oracle. When Barbara Gordon was Oracle. That's when Barbara Gordon was at her best, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
And so we're going to give you, the fans are still bitching about that. We're going to give you this. And she hits a lot of the... As far as getting a wider breadth of type of character in the universe, she's
a person of color.
She's a person of color. She's got a disability, So it's all that kind of stuff. But it also feels to me like I would actually like it even more if it would have been the old Oracle passing it on to the new Oracle. So if they actually give us that, which I don't think they will, because this Barbara Gordon isn't mature enough to pass on something.
Right.
Then I'd be okay with her taking the Oracle name and stuff, because then it would feel like that. Whereas now, to some degree, it feels like it's oh, this is something the fans have been clamoring for. Let's give it to them now.
Pat, here you go.
And I know that's how lots of comic book characters, new people, get the mantle and whatnot. It's not passed on. It's just they work out something new in the universe or whatever. But I don't know. So I don't know if I'm getting it going forward. I don't know. I keep saying I'm not going to, and then I think maybe I will. So. I guess it depends on what all I have on my poll and how it strikes a fancy at the time. So,
sure.
Anyway, on to something else. On to some more stellar comics. Batman Eternal #50.
Batman Eternal has really become Batman Eternal.
And in what sense?
Is the storyline ever going to end? It kind of did.
Well, no, because then the comic would be over with, right?
Ugh. It really is.
And there's the review.
I liked it at first. I really did.
Okay, what about issue 50 though? You get this huge reveal. Spoilers if you're reading this, we're going to read it in trade. If you're going to, yeah, you don't want. Well, I'm holding this up. Mute us or whatever. So we get the big reveal in here, supposedly. I say supposedly because I don't accept.
No kidding.
I don't accept this person as being the mastermind behind it for a number of reasons. I don't have so much of a problem with that. I mean, because this is like, it'd be like throwing Crazy Quilt out there as being the person who jerked everybody's chain.
I'm glad it's not the Joker, but
no, I didn't want it to be the Joker. I'd have been pissed if it was the Joker. But I actually would have enjoyed it more if it was Crazy Quilt than who they end up having it being here.
I just thought that was lame.
Partially due to the fact that, the clues are all out there. You just missed them. I can accept the fact that Batman overlooks some small cheese person. That some small, because he's obsessed with his main thing of villains, that he might overlook one somewhere. But he is the greatest detective. I know he's been stretched to his limits, just like the whole Hush story, which this is just a rehashing of that to some degree, which is irritating and frustrating that we get 50 issues of the Hush. But my other problem is there were too many times that we were shown the Clue Master, well, for one, the Clue Master got himself thrown in prison by his own daughter. I guess that's supposed to make Stephanie Brown be some awesome whatever. The other problem I have is there was multiple times that he was shown clearly not being in charge. Now, is that just him being smart enough to...
about somebody else being in charge. Or Bruce Wayne was talking to him, which would be Hush.
Would it? Does Hush actually look like Bruce Wayne?
Hush doesn't look like Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. What do you know about Hush? You've
true.
read these issues as much as I have. This is the only place Hush has been
That's true. And he looks, when he gets the bandages are kind of coming off, he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne.
Does he? I don't remember. Did they show him as actually making himself look like Bruce Wayne?
I don't think so.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, I think they did. I don't remember. But having known that he has done that, I thought maybe...
Okay, so then my next question, why would he be throwing up commands to the Clue Master, right? Telling the Clue Master what to do, looking like Bruce Wayne, and then the rest of the time we see him bandaged up looking like Hush?
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I don't know that it makes sense. I just don't know why. Was that because they knew Stephanie Brown was there to throw her off?
Yeah, but seriously, yes. We see him taking orders from someone else, supposedly.
Well, I mean, playing the patsy is a smart way to get done what you need done when clearly somebody's more violent or dangerous than you are, but you're still in control, right? I mean, so if he's that much of a master manipulator, awesome. Yeah. I don't know if they're doing this and they're making the Clue Master as pimp mastery as he is, solely because then that makes... Then that ups Stephanie Brown's cred. Somewhere in your head you're thinking, well, if he's this wah, then that must mean she's wah. Well, boo, because they didn't show that.
No,
and they should show it, not just...
Way. And quite frankly, they didn't... I was disappointed. I was like, my response was kind of, really?
There are people who are digging this. They just think it's great, but it's not me. I did too. I enjoyed the first, 25 issues, the first half.
Yeah. I remember in your reviews and you're like, oh, and when you were doing your psychic reviews.
Yeah.
And that one was dead on.
Well, because nothing happens in the book.
Ugh, yeah.
Here really it all comes down to him. Batman stomps around, basically goes and beats up all the rest of the Bat family's people they're fighting against, with the exception of Batgirl. She takes out the Joker's out by herself. Batman stomps around in a hissy fit because he's pissed because he can't figure out what the hell's going on. So he's mad. Finally, it takes this long for him to get mad enough to actually take charge to this degree. Goes around, beats everybody up, and goes, damn it, I'm sick of this. But that doesn't do anything in. So finally, the person who's doing this stuff to him has to climb up and go, hey, meet me here.
Face to face
meet me here. It's me. It's me.
Surprise!
So Batman's lame in Batman Eternal.
You know who I really like in currently weaving through the Bat books? Penny 1 and Penny 2.
I like Penny 2. I'm not even sure I like Penny 1, but I like Penny 2. Yeah. She's a great addition.
I've always liked Alfred. And,
yeah, Alfred's a stud.
But yeah, I really enjoy Julia. I just think she's really cool.
Yeah, she is the only thing. Stephanie Brown, Bluebird. Yeah, they didn't add anything to the book. So
and what was up with that one little blip of Ivy transplanting her plants, and you know, it was like I thought for a minute that we were going to find out that she was in on something, and
maybe she still is. Maybe she's chemically has the Clue Master snookered into doing this. Maybe really Ivy's the ultimate bad guy at the very end of it. I doubt it.
If there ever is.
I would love that. Oh no, we've only got 2 more issues.
Really?
Or 1 more issue. 2 more issues.
Okay.
This week's books and next week's. It's done at the Convergence also.
There's 52 issues.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, how convenient.
Hey, it takes lots of work to plan out 52 issues in advance.
Yeah.
That's what we rate it.
2.
Yep. Art was okay.
Yeah.
The cover's by Cliff Chang, so the cover's good.
Yeah, the cover's awesome. What is up with the Bat family?
Woo! We just love our Bat books.
Much suckage.
So, wonderful Batwoman number 40. More of what we've got in the last 3 or 4 issues. Actually, shallow, pointless.
The only thing I like about this comic is Alice, and that's it. And I don't like her that much. She's a shadow of her former self.
Red Alice?
Yeah. But I like her better than anything else in the book. And you're right. You were saying, you know, that they could have thrown any other heroes in there besides Ragman, and, you know, they could have made
the people they picked.
Yeah. It's just really...
Ragman the Demon, Clayface.
And I am so freaking sick of that vampire chick. I just...
Nocturna? I like Nocturna, the character.
Not in this.
Well, no.
I love
they do a good job of stemming the very small tide that there was on the internet that were pissed off that basically that Kate had been raped in a sense because she was not in control of herself when Nocturna was having sex with her or whatever.
Right.
They washed that away with the whole hypnosis.
The hypnosis,
you can't do it if you don't want to. For me, that was never really an issue anyway because in a sense that she is a vampire in a lot of ways. That is the traditional vampire story, right or wrong. If you want to view the traditional vampire story, Count Dracula shows up and makes eyes at the beautiful female, and whether she really wants to or not, kind of succumbs to him.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That's a type of roofie, and whatnot. But it is in tradition with that type of story, like it or hate it. So I didn't have a problem with that initially, but it does get explained away in here as being all hypnosis, which is kind of all bullshit in its own sense. And they take care of that whole Nocturna storyline, knock her on the head or whatever, and now the cops come and pick her up and whatnot, and then we finally get the murder thing. I was so excited because this is it. We're done. Convergence, it's over. No Batwoman up the other side, which is a bummer, but not because this Batwoman was terrific.
Batwoman is horrible.
But injury to insult, I gotta go pick up Batwoman Annual number 2 to actually finish the story.
Oh, yippee!
I mean, it's horrible, and so why should I care? I shouldn't, but I have the whole run.
We have continuity issues.
So, well, that's not continuity. It's just a matter
of continuity, but
the collector thing.
Right, you have to do it.
If there was another 70 issues this book, I would have dropped it 5 issues ago. But yeah,
exactly.
So
might as well finish it out. But it's just so sad. Because it was such a gorgeous, beautiful, well-written, well-drawn book. And now it's just crap. And it makes me really sad.
It was canceled. It was canceled when J.H. Williams III and Blackman were off the book. The book was canceled then. I will bet donuts to dollars that it was canceled then. And they called up Mac Andricchio and went, hey, dude, we got this heat coming down on us for the whole gay marriage thing and whatnot. And the creators left. Can you come on as a gay representative? Can you come on and just write some issues, and we'll drag this thing out for a while, and then we'll kind of stealth cancel it as opposed to just dropping the book because the creators are off the book and don't want to do what they do. That's my opinion. I have no facts to back that up whatsoever, but I just think from having talked to other creators about other books that have been canceled, or the main creator gets off the book, and then a new creator jumps on the book and is on the book for like 6, 7 issues, and then they're gone.
And then it's gone.
Well, not writes in the ground, but just writes it, and then it's gone. They have told me the book was canceled when they picked it up. It's just they were stretching it out to the next, whatever the next thing was. But they already knew it was not going to be anymore.
Right.
I know for a fact that Frankenstein Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Jeff Lemire wrote up to a point, and then Matt Kindt took over. When Matt Kindt took over, he was already told the book was canceled. Just write us some more fun stories for a little bit up until a certain point, and then we'll shut the book down. But we already knew. It didn't matter what he did. He could write the best book ever, and it would still be canceled. So I just get a sense that's probably what happened with this book too. You know?
Yeah.
Not that I think the sales, even with J.H. Williams III on it and Blackman on it, were rocking. I don't know that they were, but I do know that DC editorial wanted to move Batwoman into the rest of the Bat family universe closer to, even though that's really not how her character operates at all. They wanted to do that, and of course, those people were very, very resistant to that happening. So, anyway, what do we give the book?
Yeah, I guess.
I give it a 1. Oh, you can give it a 0 if you want to.
No, I'll give it a 1.
Cover looked okay. Anyway, on to COWL, issue number 9, an independent superhero book. What do you think?
I
don't know that I've ever talked to you about COWL.
I like this book for the most part. I think the characters are good. And I love the end of this one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either.
Well, we'll see it just right there at the beginning of the Union Juice thing. It says her name. Radia. Yes, Radia! I love the fact that she finally just is like, screw you all, I'm a superhero. Because
union, no union, strike, no strike. Some stuff's got to be done. They're wheeling and dealing.
She's just tired of being the pretty one.
Right. She basically looks like, I don't know, a curvier Sue Storm of sorts. She's their face. She's their face. She's the beautiful one. So she's the one they put in front of the camera, or the one they put in front of whatever to be there and wink and nod and smile.
The other ones are going to be on the cover of Time, and she's going to be on the cover of Glamour or something.
Right.
Or People.
Right. Or Cosmo.
She's sick to death of not being taken seriously as a human being and as a hero. So I was absolutely delighted that she just kind of let loose at the end there. Because she thought she was going to get to do some of that, and then what's-his-name kind of shut her down when they were trying to take out some of the people that were, you know, using their powers for evil. And then there's that whole setup where, hey, we've decided that to end the strike, we're going to fake some supervillains.
Right, that's been the kind of secret plot line going on, is the fact that, or one of them, that the head of the president of the union, you know, right now, because they just got, you know, because the whole thing was they had gotten rid of all the supervillains out of Chicago. So there's no need to have superheroes anymore. So they weren't going to hire them back. They weren't going to hire the union. They'd hire superheroes when they needed them, kind of thing.
Right.
So the union gets together with one of the crime bosses, and they basically, you know, pimp out some people to be supervillains to make them break.
Yep. And they kidnap a city leader.
Alderman, yeah. And it works.
Yes, it does.
They end up ultimately signing a contract, partially to the fact that Hoover and the FBI show up and say, if you don't do this, the governor's going to take control of your city, going to take control of Chicago if you can't figure it out. So they end up signing it. But in the process of that, she decides that she's not going to sit around and just let all this stuff happen anymore. You know, she's been secretly doing some work anyway, but had quit again. But union, no union, contract, no contract. People are in danger. People are being hurt. She's going to do something about it. So she engages with the guy who's kidnapped the alderman, and he is a sonic person. He uses sound.
Right. He breaks right.
The illustration in this is awesome for him using the sound, because the way they do it, because you think, okay, sound person, how do you do the art for that and whatnot? And some of the stuff, some of the panels and pages for his art attacks are just absolutely incredible, because you know, she storms in and knocks a bunch of people over, and the one guy's going, oh, thank God, and he takes the D, and he actually uses the D, because he uses the sound, and takes the D off of oh God, and smacks her in the face with it. That's a wonderful way to illustrate.
It's so much more fun than Aquaman's, you know, circles, the Super Friends. Right. Exactly.
you know, and him taking the train, the chugga 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 of the train, and then suddenly it's inside, you know, smashing stuff up. And he uses the guy screaming is to land on it as a pillow. I mean, it's just perfect stuff.
It is really cool.
You know, they get in this big fight and they're you know, cracking and beating on each other, and her foot falls, the clop clop clop, her foot falls. He uses that to break her ankle. It is absolutely awesome in it. She ends up winning the fight, and I love it when she uses her telekinetic ability to reset, because they want her to stay down. Oh man, just stay down, treating her like a
they're like, do you need help? Are you okay?
Are you okay, honey? Gotta remember, this is the mid-60s, so women's lib is starting to be on the rise, but really hasn't yet. You haven't gotten to full bra-burning status yet of feminism, and she's kind of pissed about that. She sets her own ankle, and she's like, at the end of it, she's like, you know, I'm fine, I don't need any help, I'm a goddamn superhero.
Exactly, and she knocks all the policemen back, and she floats off. And I was really glad to see that, because she's my favorite. Yeah. And I could really see how frustrated that she was. Yeah, I'm
really digging this series. I really like it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I like the setting. I like the art.
I really do.
You know,
it's a good series.
Yeah, as I always keep saying, I'm because of my own personal experience, the whole union versus management thing entertains me anyway. So there's that, plus the superheroes, plus, like I said, the art, the setting of it. So it's pretty cool. What will we get that book?
I'll give that book a 4.
Same here. I like the ending of this one.
Yeah.
So, Loki, Agent of Asgard, number 12, with probably one of the most awesome and brutal covers. Glare.
I feel so sorry for
old King Loki eating the guts out of...
I mean, he's not Kid Loki. New Loki. What do you want to call him?
New Loki.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for him. I mean, the kid's so screwed. And I totally understand that whole, you know, God of lies, God of lies, God of lies. I mean, that makes sense.
Okay, so back up here so people have an understanding of what we're talking about in a comic. So he's been, our main character, young Loki, has been basically trapped, captured by old King Loki, mouth covered, stuck to a chair, can't do anything. And now Loki, old man Loki, old King Loki here, is dialoguing. He's monologuing exactly what it is that he's done, how he's done it, and why he did it.
And I understand the why, but I still feel super bad.
No, it's awesome.
It is.
Oh, you know what? I love this comic. This right now, favorite comic, this issue, favorite comic of the year.
Wow.
So far. Granted, we're only in March. It hits all the things I love. I love the idea of, I've done something in my past or whatever, and it's labeled me as being bad. I'm doing everything I can to erase or to overcome that label of what I am. And despite my best effort, I may have done the best things in the world. I may have saved everything. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the people are still going to label you as something.
Exactly, and it's like, you're so awesome, Mike. I almost forget that you're the God of lies.
Right. So it gets hammered in here quite a bit. So basically, old King Loki here set this whole thing up. He actually set this guy in motion to do the things he's done, and you're thinking it's to be good, and it really was. Originally, the idea was, because the whole premise of this whole book has been, is he struck a deal with the All-Mothers to go, look, I will do your work. I'll do whatever you need me to go out there do, be a secret agent, do whatever needs to be done. And every time I succeed in one of those things, you strike one of my evil deeds. One of my evil deeds out of the books of history. So it never existed.
It never happened.
So he's slowly building himself up as being basically a hero. Everybody likes him. Throughout the time this book has been, everybody likes him. He's doing great things. Because he's going to be okay with being the trickster god. Because that's what Loki is.
Fine. That's what he is.
And that's who he's going to be. But all of his successes, somewhere along the way, we get to see, like you said, you get to see where somebody goes, oh, I'm enjoying this so much, but I'd almost forget that you're the God of lies. Or yay, we've all succeeded, we're at the table drinking our ale and playing cards. Well, you can't play cards with this because nobody plays cards with the God of lies.
Yeah, we're playing honest cards here.
And where he's, swearing some stuff to Thor, and Thor goes, you can stop now, because as much as I'd love to believe you, brother, and I love everything you've done, I do know you're the God of lies. And so old man Loki's like, screw that.
Right.
Screw that. I did it because I did it. In 10 years I did this. And now we're starting over again because that wasn't going to work. So now I'm going to kill everything. Because the issue starts out, set in the future, far in the future, because he's on Midgard, Earth, sitting on a throne. All of Earth is dead. Earth is just a burnt, razed to the ground
Well, he's basically
orb.
sitting in a whole bunch of human bones.
Right. And Odin's son, being Thor, shows up. He's got the eye patch, so we're way in the future, because if he's wearing the eye patch, that's him basically filling the role of Odin again. Is there and is pissed because, of course, Thor loves Midgard. It's his thing. Yeah. And so, you know, all kinds of awful stuff happens there and whatnot. And the only reason he did it, because why not? Because everyone's going to hate me regardless, so F them. That's why I burnt the whole thing down. You know, I wasn't going to do that. Yeah, it wasn't what I wanted to do. But, you know what? Screw it. There's some great stuff in here, though. There's some great, which you probably, I don't know how much you would take on, because neither one of us are reading the Thor book, but I did talk to people who read the Thor book. There's some great stuff in here about the current Thor. About the fact that Thor, Odin's son, he's back swinging the hammer, but he comments on the fact that for a long time it was swung by somebody much better than him, implying that
he was.
Yeah, and there's the case file of which is kind of a dig on the Gamergate thing. They have the case file in here. What was it called? Trying to think what it's called, because he's telling each of these stories and he calls them a case. This is the case of, you know, and they all have these silly names. And what was it? It was the case of. No, I've said it. I can't find it. And the art was awesome in this.
Yes, the art
issue.
Was really good.
And the artist is. Lee Gerbett. Yeah, I mean, and he's just freaking. Man, the paneling was cool. Everything about it worked really well. Let me find this. Oh, yes. Shows one of the scenes back where he was interacting with our current Thor. And it's like, you know, a case I refer to in my files as, actually, it's about ethics and hammer wielding. Because the whole ethics in reporting and the gamer stuff. So that was pretty funny, too. So there's some good winks and nods.
I haven't been paying attention to that.
Right.
All I got is that you can't wield the hammer even if you are Thor.
Right, if you're not worthy.
You can't wield the hammer if you're not worthy.
Yeah. So, but I did. Absolutely loved the book. I loved the art. Love where it's going. I think it's done. I think Secret Wars will bury this book, and I don't think it's going to come back afterwards.
That's too bad.
I don't know that sales that well. I don't know anybody else who's reading this besides me.
And I really am going to miss Verity, because I just thought she was a cool character.
I think she's going to come back. I think she's one of the linchpins. And part of me also thinks, because you're talking about two trickster gods, two gods of lies, that even our hero of the book has something in his back pocket just waiting to happen.
True.
You know, maybe he saw it coming. You know, I don't know. So I'm really curious to see what happens out of it. But I've loved it. I love the whole aspects of that. To me, that just speaks to something that I just really, really like. So, anything else to say about the book?
No.
What would you rate?
I think for you it's probably 4, but for me it's a 3.
I'm giving it a 5.
Wow. That's true. It's your best book of the year.
My favorite book of the year.
Yeah.
Mostly due to
I love Loki as much as
mostly, it's not just the Loki thing.
I understand.
It's all of those elements, and the biggest part of it is the plot, the story idea of somebody who's trying to rectify a whole bunch of stuff, and regardless of that, the rest of the world isn't willing to see that.
Right. Isn't really willing to let go of his old personality.
Right. Even though all he's done is saved everybody's ass over and over again. And it does not matter. Doesn't matter. So. Magneto, issue number 16. What's going on? What you think?
You start, Magneto, please.
Fine. I do all the heavy lifting. Magneto, the book has kind of changed for me, whereas when the series first started out, it was kind of a street level Magneto. You know, him going after the people who are going after mutants, which is pretty typical of Magneto. But in this case, like I said, because of his not having as much power and him being hunted, it was kind of a street level kind of thing. Now, last couple issues, he basically took it to S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, just pimp slapped the daylights out of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just knocked them all over the place. So they're not messing with them anymore. He's got his island back. He's creating his world. And, of course, he's already apprehensive because the last time he did this, things went horribly bad. hundreds of mutants were killed, and so he's not really sure about whether or not he wants this to happen. But people know he's there, and once word of mouth gets around, mutants are starting to show up.
Right, they're coming.
Mutants are starting to show
up. They're happy, and then
somebody has shown up, and there's some mutants who aren't quite sure exactly. They're here because it's safe. They don't know if they trust Magneto, which makes a lot of sense, and they get mass murdered. A whole group of them.
They're just kind of hanging out on the outskirts.
They get mass murdered by somebody with a big sharp object, not a knife, but like some jagged thing. Murders them all, and leaves a message in Magneto's. He's living in a camper. In his camper, smeared in blood on his mirror. Look out, Eric.
Yeah.
We're coming.
Keep the furnace running.
Keep the furnace running. Okay, keep the furnace running. And in the murder scene where all the people were mass murdered, it's a huge swastika. And anybody who doesn't know, Magneto is of Jewish descent along with being a mutant, so he's been...
And he's also a survivor of concentration camps.
Right. So he has been, ostracized twice, basically. Either way.
Yeah.
So a big thing. I'm looking forward to this. I like when it plays on this stuff with Magneto. It's an interesting. I think it's an interesting thing to advance. I'm hoping that whoever this is doing this isn't quite that simple. But like that, keeping the furnaces burning is just evil.
That's a really horrible thing.
Evil. When you're talking about somebody who survived Auschwitz and stuff like that. That is just.
What do you think about this newfound relationship that he's got going with, that's Briar, right?
Briar, yeah. What's her gig? I mean, I personally don't have a problem with the younger lady thinking Magneto's,
I don't have
whatever.
a problem with the age difference or anything like that.
What's she up to?
I don't know.
I mean, he asked her, what's your investment in this? Because she's a survivor of a place that he destroyed.
Well, I hope that
she was saved.
Do something
she was saved in the process of that, but also lots of people were killed in the process of that.
I don't know.
I
hope it's not her.
She was the inside guy to basically help him take down S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D. on for him. So, I don't know. I'm going to really hope that it's not her. But if it is her...
Her as in like she's the murderer?
Wouldn't that just be...
That would be impressive.
Because she said, he was in here while we were sleeping and,
and how would that have happened?
It could have been her.
Sure.
It just occurred to me that it could be her. I was thinking...
That would be awesome.
I was thinking that I don't want her to have some ulterior motive that's not...
But for it to be beyond that, it to be really her?
That would just be horrible. But cool. Maybe.
But I don't understand why, unless she has some other history that we're not aware of. The whole Nazi thing, is that just all a red herring?
That would play on him. That would hit
sure.
Him
So it's just her. It would just be her messing with him, not that it would be a personal thing.
Is a personal.
Not that it would be a personal thing.
But I don't. That's probably way off base. Well, I guess we'll find out who it is eventually.
Sure.
I like this book.
Really enjoying it. I don't know if it's going to survive outside the other side of Secret Wars 2. I know it and Loki both are going to get the title of the final days of, because there's like about half the books are getting a title of the final days of.
Oh.
Those that the writers want to finish out writing something. Those that just wanted to end it could have ended at any time.
Right.
Basically. So the creators are getting some room to do some of their own stuff along with it bleeding into the Secret Wars stuff. So we'll see what
becomes of it.
What becomes of it, but Colin Bunn, good stuff.
Yeah, I like him. Speaking of which...
So what are we giving that?
4.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Another Colin Bunn book.
Yeah, exactly, speaking of which.
Moon Knight, issue number 13. The first issue, Colin Bunn jumps on the book.
So we did. We jumped back.
Yep, because I like the character, and I like the character, and I like the format they set up with the Moon Knight being the one and done kind of story, basically.
What they've done with him. And I really enjoyed Ellis's run on it. So, yeah, I like this too. I liked this.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the whole idea, the whole ghosts and him just being like begrudgingly helping them because that's part of his job.
He hates ghosts.
But that's his
job. Character hates ghosts. He does. He does not like ghosts at all. He's living in, if you read the Ellis run, he's living in the hotel. Towards the end of that run, he went through the hotel because they were holding hostages there, and he busted everybody up in that hotel, in that place. He's living in there. That's where he's living at now, is this abandoned, dilapidated place. And it's full of ghosts, and it starts out with him basically yelling at them like they're people in his house. Get out of my house! not recognizing them as being ghosts. You know, it's like, and of course his spirit mentor thing, the spirit of Kanosh, or whatever you say it, it shows up and basically is like, look, you know, you're the shepherd. You may not like all of your flock. You may not like all your flock, but it's still your flock, and you still have to protect your flock. So he begrudgingly goes and beats the hell out of a bunch of Ghostbusters, basically.
Yes.
That are capturing the ghosts to sell them off to the highest bidder.
Right,
blah, blah,
just
blah.
like you can eBay yourself a ghost. And actually, you can truly buy things online that are supposedly haunted. No, I only know because somebody else told me, because I was talking about Heart-Shaped Box.
Oh, of course.
By Joe Hill, which involves somebody buying a ghost.
Right.
It's a suit or something. I can't remember.
Right. The bloody footprint thing. He follows the footprints to the scene.
I love the end of that.
Yeah.
That
so
was
at the
awesome.
end of this book, you see all those bloody footprints to where the crime is being happened, where these ghosts are all being nailed and whatnot. He beats up all the guys that are there and whatnot, and he leaves.
And his bare footprints.
And as he leaves,
they're the ghost bloody barefoot feet. And as he leaves,
and he's going back home, basically after getting beat up once again and everything. It's his boot prints are bloody going backwards, and the ghosts are following him.
And they're following him. Yeah, and I like that.
So it's the end of the story.
Even though at the end, he's just like, go home, go away.
Yeah. So it's great.
Get out, don't thank me.
Right. What's great? Yeah, because they're all going to give him a big giant group hug. He's like, no, no group hugs. You know, basically. And what's great is, of course, it's a single story. It's contained right here. You don't have to read any others to know anything else that's going on or whatever. But there is, right? There is a story that's crossing through all of these if you want to put that stuff all together. So that whole footprint thing, I think, is gonna, you know, that's gonna carry on, even though, you know, because the Ellis part had elements that went through each issue, but you could read any individual issue and be happy with any individual issue. So
yeah, and I enjoy that book.
I like Moonlight.
I'm glad to be back to it, and I'm glad that Cullen Bunn is writing it because he knows what he's doing. Right.
Like I said, the only reason I like a character, I liked what Ellis did. Brian Wood was on the book. I have not enjoyed any of Brian Wood's superhero stuff, so that's why I dropped the book then. Just because none of it's panned out for me. I like his independent work, but none of his superhero stuff has panned out for me, so I just decided I wasn't going to bother. Heard from Comics to Comics and T-Bird that Bum was back on the book, so rushed to the store, rushed to the chain store to pick it up. And really happy I did. I gotta get back on my pole now. I have no idea what's going on with this when it comes to the whole Secret Wars thing too with Marvel, because they have not been up front with, other than it's a whole new universe, they haven't been up front with what the hell's going on with their books coming out the other side. So, yeah. What would we give that?
I give it a 4.
I give it a 4 also. Boy, they work really nice to some of these books. Secret Identities, issue number 2, another non-Big 2 superhero book, which I'm always excited to see somebody else's take on superheroes.
Can I say that I'm really glad that somebody is suspicious of the plant
of the
hero.
Crosswinds?
Yes.
Our better than better hero. That's
gee shucks.
Well, we know he's a bad guy. I mean, if they've implied that he's at least a bad guy in the sense that he's trying to get inside and find out all their identities and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep. And I'm glad that there is one of the heroes that is suspicious of him.
Is checking him out further.
And they just got his DNA at the end, so
off of a cup.
We'll see what comes of that. When I first read this, I wasn't sure what it was, and
this issue?
No, the first one. So, but I do like it, and it's nice to see other. Like you said, other heroes that don't have some big long history and they don't have some big long canon. So it's just kind of nice. Now I got the guy, the lava guy. Is he just he's easily confused, or is Punchline a girl? And all this time I thought it was a man.
Punchline's a girl.
Oh wow! I've seriously thought Punchline was a boy this whole time.
No, Punchline is a girl with a very short haircut and wears more guy clothes than...
I mean, I know girls like that, but until he called her she, I'm looking back going, is he just confused about pronouns? Because... No. And so I feel really dumb.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure to start with either, just because of the way she's drawn. I mean, she's drawn relatively unisex, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing in any conversation or whatever that would give you a guy or a girl. I mean, because then they also have a conversation where Punchline and I can't remember the other superhero's name. The one that's the daughter of the president of the United States.
Right. When they're talking about their secret identities, whether or not you should have one, and he does. And he's talking about how she's talking about how tiresome it is to always be who she is because she doesn't have one.
Right.
And he's talking about the fact that
she.
Punchline
is a she.
Yes. Okay.
She's a stand-up comedian.
She is talking about how she has one because for one thing, her parents won't have bodyguards that are the Secret Service.
Right.
And for another, she has to, it almost, she doesn't know if it would be worse dealing with the comic clubs, and the critics.
Right. Yeah.
Well, her jokes are kind of ridiculous sometimes.
Well, they are. They are.
And I wasn't sure if her jokes were ridiculous as Punchline because that's her name, and so she's going to, tell Spider-Man caliber jokes.
To some degree, that's a shtick, but...
Yeah, and so I don't know if her jokes when she's on stage are going to be any better.
Yeah, because we haven't seen a whole lot of that.
Not too much, no.
Right, but yes.
But I feel really dumb. Punchline's a girl, everybody. But I like it.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see who these people are. I mean, clearly there's a lot more story to be told.
Exactly.
That we haven't got. We're at the very beginning, so we're just getting little bits and pieces. I mean, it's funny. We got our super speedster, who's a polygamist.
Oh my God!
A closet polygamist. I mean, nobody knows that he's got multiple wives, and he doesn't. And his wives, I'm sure, do not know that because the one's on one side of the Canada, one's on the other side of Canada, kind of thing.
Doesn't he Does he have 2 or 3? Just 2?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's 2 or 3.
But he's confused. He has. They're having a meeting. They're having a meeting, and he needs to leave because, of course, one of his kids has their extracurricular activity that he needs to get to, and he can't remember which kid it is.
Which thing it is?
It's like, okay, this is Wednesday, so it's
ballet.
It's ballet with Wendy. Oh my God, it's not soccer with Sam. So he's trying to keep it all straight in his head as he's blasting out of the place and stuff. So
I love how he spends a good chunk of his life being the husband and father to 2 different families, plus being the speedster.
At least, yeah.
Yes, that amuses me, because why couldn't you? I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But it's just, DC is pretty straight-laced when it comes to that kind of stuff, so it would never have occurred to them.
No, I don't know.
The Flash started out in, an earlier era. So it's kind of fun that he has that aspect of his personality.
I suppose. I don't know that you're predisposed to that sort of behavior just because you're a speedster, but it makes it easier to get away with it, that's for sure.
It's almost like being a sailor. How supposedly a girl in a report, that kind of thing.
Oh, the good old days.
I'm not saying that sailors are like that. I'm just saying that was one of those goofy stereotypes.
Yeah.
So.
Right. But, but we get a little bit of some more about some of these characters, a little more of their back history and whatnot. Those that have adjusted, those that haven't adjusted, the gladiator type guy who has not adjusted. And
their headquarters is fabulous.
Well, their headquarters is a rotten, decaying giant alien monster that they beat at some point, and now that's their headquarters. They live inside of it.
Maintained by its kind of system of microbes or whatever they are.
Right. So
it's bizarre, but I really love it. And the fact that what's his name, the traitor, is looking for the cortex, the cerebral cortex, which I'm sure is the control of a lot of stuff, because
or has all their data or something. And
I like it. I just think it's fun.
So it'd be cool to see exactly what the whole secret identities thing, what that has to do with. This is partially written by the same guy who does Copperhead. He's one of the writers that's on it.
I love
That's
Copperhead.
Fabier, as far as Jones. The art, I like the art. I think it's more solid in this issue than the last one. I agree. It would be, how do you say his name?
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry. I don't want to say it wrong.
Right there, we won't butcher it. That's the pencilist. That's the interior art, and the colors are done by a couple different people. But I like the art. It is somewhat 90s reminiscent. Yeah, oh boy, in a way, but it's the good 90s art as opposed to, so it pays homage to that stuff. The characters are cool. This is our character who's suspicious.
I like him. I like his
and the other
costume.
There's that whole person who is, see here is...
Punchline. She looks like a guy, okay? Leave me alone.
Punchline. That's cool.
I feel really stupid. I really do.
But Punchline also looks stereotypical in a way of the short-haired girl with the extra piercings and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I get that she's a girl.
Right. So
it really did throw me. I just thought she was a very...
But it's cool. Man. You got this whole, you know, all these people's different secret identities are just clearly it is. Here's an awesome panel. They're fighting this panel here. They're fighting against the 5 stages, you know, like the 5 stages of grief, basically.
Yeah, I like that.
And
I like the whole
the art is awesome because you get these 5 circles, and then each of these circles in this giant picture, the splash page. Each circle, you get the circle, and then it's a blown up of what's actually going on in that circle. That's just good panel work. You know, cool different way of telling the story. So the art's awesome in it, and it's just yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun superhero book that's going to play with the whole secret identities. You know, are secret identities as simple as, you know, I'm Bruce Wayne, millionaire. I kind of fake I'm a playboy. I'm Batman, or I'm Clark Kent. I put on my, you know, I take my glasses. I take my glasses off. I take my glasses off, and then I go and I'm a superhero. Is it as simple as that, or do people carry around a lot of baggage? Really,
obviously, our speedster, while that seems silly right now, that really has to weigh on a person.
I would think so.
Trying to maintain 2 separate, 3. He's maintaining 3 identities: a secret identity, and 2.
Well, his superhero identity and 2 home lives at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. It's interesting. It's different enough, and yeah, I give it a solid 3.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, that's it for our superheroes. We're done. See y'all later.
Bye.